Good morning. It's good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. On Mondays anymore, we've been going through the Old Testament, looking at different heroes of faith, men and women, who we can imitate as they followed the Lord. The man we're going to talk about today is Enoch. Not much is said about him in the Old Testament, but in Enoch chapter 5, Enoch is Methuselah's father. But in chapter 5 of verse 24, it says that Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Now, in the book of Hebrews, in chapter 11 at verse 5, it says that by faith Enoch was taken away, so that he did not see death. Later on in the verse, it says, for before he was taken, he had this testimony that he pleased God. He walked with God, and because he walked with God, he pleased God. Most folks anymore, they don't care about having that sort of relationship with the Lord. They want the Lord to be there on Sunday at 10:30 when they come back to the church building. Monday through Saturday, they don't care about the Lord. They don't pray to the Lord. They don't sing to the Lord. They don't think about the Lord. That's how most folks are. Enoch wasn't like that, and we don't need to be like that either. And we cannot be like that if we're going to be pleasing to God. Enoch walked with God. But also, he was not afraid of proclaiming God's judgments. In the book of Jude at verse 14, it says that Enoch prophesied about a certain kind of men, saying, "Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment on all," talking about the ungodly. The judgments that Enoch prophesied about, he's talking about the flood, is what it's talking about. Needless to say, God's not going to destroy the flood, not going to destroy the world, with water anymore, but he is going to destroy the world, this time with fire. Well, Enoch was not afraid of proclaiming the Lord's judgments against the ungodly. And if we're going to be pleasing to the Lord, then we can't be afraid of that either. What Enoch did was he named his son Methuselah. Methuselah lived 969 years. And lo and behold, on the 969th year of his life, that is when the floods came. When you look at the word Methuselah, there is a prophecy within his name concerning the flood. And that is what is being referenced here in Jude. Now here's my point. Enoch believed what was coming almost 1,000 years before it came. You might consider it, because we have to do the same. We believe what's coming. It may be 1,000 years, but 1,000 years to the Lord is as a day. But we still believe what's coming. It says that he was not. He did not see death. He lived 365 years, and he did not die. The Lord took him. It says here he prophesied about certain kind of men. And you might read verses 12 down through verse 16 on your own. But who Enoch was prophesying about, he was prophesying about false brethren, is what he's prophesying about, especially if you look at verse 12. He was talking about children, supposedly children of God, but really they were selfish. He's talking about false brethren who all they cared about was themselves. He's talking about false brethren who did not fear God. He was talking about false brethren who had no ambition at all to edify anybody else, to help anybody else grow. He's talking about false brethren who were not even remotely peaceable. Talking about false brethren who had no root in themselves, and all they did was complained about everybody else. And I have a feeling Enoch was taken by the Lord because Enoch was tired of it. He walked with God, and the Lord took him. Hope you enjoyed this study today. God bless you. Be a blessing to others. We'll see you tomorrow morning.